Hey everyone, just kind of catching you guys up. We've been kind of busy, and my throat's a little sore the last few weeks. Not Colin and I have not been able to meet together. So one thing is, you may notice we're looking at making a new channel. Part of the reason why is due to logistics. Pete does a lot of our editing and stuff for videos, and I wanted to jump in and help out. I'm making a new channel. I'll be running one of the channels. He'll be running one. We'll still try to work together. We're still kind of keep the same theme. We decided to make a separate channel for Pigskin Pirates. So, not sure if we're going to move all the content over to it or not, or how we're going to link it. Still to be determined and discussed. That's something we've been working through, but kind of help allow us to have more flexibility on creating content. So that's kind of the first purpose. Like I said, we've been a little bit busy, not been able to do like a full follow up. Actually, Pete and Colin and Pete's wife Ashley came over with a group of people. We watched the Georgia Tennessee game together. So I hadn't been able to follow up well in that game. As a Vols fan, the game sucked. I mean, it was a good game. It was a great game, but we had every chance to win that game, and we just did not. And sometimes I've been thinking it is Tennessee football, but then again, it landed in 2022 against Alabama. That game had a lot of that same feel. Everything went our way. Then they a few defensive plays here and there, a missed kick, all of this. I do think was really impressed with Gunnar Stockton. I think Georgia's going to be very tough to stop this year for a lot of people. With Notre Dame falling off, they're probably my team to win it all. Still a lot of football. I haven't seen Oregon play yet. I haven't seen Penn State play yet. I haven't seen much of Ohio State yet. The Big Ten's really starting to finally kick off, so be curious to see. Saw Indiana; they looked really good. I was kind of high on Illinois. That apparently didn't work out. Was high on Missouri. That one has worked out. Somebody pointed that out to me. My dad did. But so some of the ones we've guessed right on. Some we've not. Clemson's been a disaster. One trend among a lot of these teams, LSU's having this problem. Clemson, Florida, South Carolina's had this issue. Tennessee had a little bit against Georgia. It impacted game is inability to run the ball. I think Tennessee has a good running game. This team couldn't run against Georgia, but a lot of these teams that are struggling or falling out, they got good quarterbacks, but they don't have running backs. They can't run the ball. Clemson's got that problem. Ken Klubnik had 60 passes against Syracuse and didn't work out. LSU's had that issue. South Carolina had that issue against Missouri. They could not run the ball against Missouri. I think they had negative rushing yards for the entire game. So that seems to be a common theme in college football right now. Some of the teams that are really struggling are living and dying by the pass. Actually, another one fits that bill, Auburn, and some degree even Oklahoma. Both Auburn and Oklahoma look that way. And you see, it makes you step back and think who really can compete, who has the defense, the running game, the passing game, all of it all together. In the SEC right now, only Georgia seems to fit that bill. Maybe Tennessee, but their defense is a little suspect. But yeah, some of these other teams have not been able to get. LSU doesn't have a running game. Oklahoma doesn't have a running game. Oklahoma LSU check the boxes on defense, possibly quarterback play and stuff. But they don't have the running game, so we'll see. And of course, Vanderbilt's an interesting surprise. Don't I think my cousin Sire Philson, who's doing a league, said don't write them out. Another topic I want to talk about is kind of going into the NFL. So I did my quick run through of where college football is at their current state. I'd love to sit down with Colin and do more of a deep dive. We may do that over the next couple of weeks, but I'm going on vacation 1 week, so in October, so maybe slow about doing it. But so going into the NFL, one thing is interesting is the Chiefs are off to a tough start. I think they'll rebound, but I mostly watch the Titans, and so I kind of want to talk a little bit about the Titans today. I was kind of happy with their Week 1 performance against Denver Broncos. They came out, they really should have won the game. The coaching, some weird coaching decisions and some bad plays here and there cost them, but the defense played very well. Cam Ward played just good enough to win there, and they just blew it right at the end. They made some mistakes and some questionable calls, and some plays just didn't bounce their way. I feel like they could have probably sniped the Broncos, but they didn't. Cam Ward shows potential, but he, unfortunately, after this past week, he's been regressing. He looked very good in Week 1, looked pretty decent Week 2. This recent run with the Colts, it was ugly. The game against the Colts was dreadful, and all the goodwill I'd built up the Titans, Yeah, they were competitive. They looked like they should have beaten the Denver. I think it was the Jets last week. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember who. I know Matthew Stafford played for me as the quarterback. I can't remember what actual team. Sorry about that. But they looked serviceable. I mean, the score was kind of showed like a multi-score win, but if you looked at it, it was one score going all the way in the fourth quarter. It was not a. It was a close back and forth game. They were competitive, and then this past week, it was ugly. It was dreadful. I'm not. I'm still not a fan of the coaching changes. I really think they should have held on to Vrabel. Titans seem to be incapable. They've tried with had some very questionable quarterback drafts in the past. Will Levis was one. Marcus Mariota. That one. I don't. At the time, it didn't seem questionable, but that one flamed out. Vince Young flamed out, and it's going way back. But one challenge the Titans, they cannot put together a premier. They don't have the premier quarterback. Cam Ward could be that. I don't know. He doesn't have much talent around him. Watching the team, the offensive line is dreadful. Wide receivers, they dropped some. Cam Ward threw some passes that should have been caught that they dropped. NFL level, I mean, college, you get in trouble for doing that. NFL level, that's a no-no. I mean, you're supposed to everybody's elite receivers in that league. They should be catching some of these. So culture right now is not that strong. So Titans, I don't know. Probably not the best feel coming out for the rest of the season. I'm expecting maybe a 4-win season. The defense is good. The defense looks good. It'll keep them in games. They might win a few games just off their defense. Who knows? Offense is it's like the Florida Gators. They have no offense. Titans don't either. I mean, so it's bad there. No running game. Pollard's trying his best. I think some of the running games sometimes is built by offensive lines, and I feel like they get underestimated. It kind of goes both ways. If you got a good quarterback, and this is like Aguilar with the Tennessee offensive line. Tennessee offensive line's doing very good first 4 or 5 games this season, even against Georgia. But Aguilar can get pressure off him because he can drop back quickly, hit balls. If you got a good quarterback, it can take pressure off the line. You got a good line, it takes pressure off the quarterback. So it's kind of mutual exclusive, and Titans just don't have that offensive line right now. So just want to do a quick run through, test this new channel out, and where I'm going to be working with. We're going to try to come back and do some more content today. They leaked the SEC permanent rival schedule. I know Colin was actually texting me about that. Tennessee had Kentucky, Vandy, Alabama. That wasn't a surprise to me. I mean, the only ones people said was questionable was Kentucky, but Tennessee's played more games. It's the look it up, fourth longest run series in SEC history. They played 2 games of basketball. If you ask a Kentucky fan, the top SEC rival to them is Tennessee. I'm surprised Kentucky and Vanderbilt weren't permanent opponents, though. That did shock me on that one. I thought they would, because they're both regional, Middle Tennessee and Lexington. They're not that far apart. I thought they would stick with that, but I think Vanderbilt has Auburn and Mississippi State. That was another one. I thought they'd have Ole Miss, not Mississippi State, but several went exactly like I thought. Alabama went exactly like I thought. People kept wondering why would they get Mississippi State? I think they call it the Battle of, don't call me, Interstate 74. I can't remember the number, but they've been playing they played Mississippi State a lot more than they played LSU, and I think that SEC, when they were looking at this, they looked at all time, how long have these series been played, how long have these rivalries been around, not just recent bias. Recent bias would put Tennessee against a Florida or Georgia, but frankly, prior to 1992, Tennessee didn't play either one of them a lot. They used to play Auburn and Ole Miss every year. They used to play Georgia Tech a lot. Tennessee at one time had a rivalry, Georgia Tech, back when Georgia Tech was in the SEC. So there's different teams that historically these people have played, and they pick the ones that have been consistent basically since the school started playing football, or leather helmets, or pre-leather helmets day. And Kentucky and Vanderbilt have been 2 consistent rivals of Tennessee since day one, and they're in the area. They're a geographic fit. I mean, more so than the deep South rivals like Florida, who doesn't even share a border with Tennessee. So it makes sense from that aspect. Now, how long this new system is going to be around, who knows? Because I personally feel like this is a good off-season topic, expansion. I think the SEC is eventually going to expand again. I really do. I think the Big Ten will as well. I think the ACC is buying time. It'll be one of those situations. I think the teams, it'll be kind of like an OU Texas kind of situation where I think You have a team like North Carolina, they'll announce where they're going. They'll hang around the ACC 2 or 3 years, and they'll jump ship. I think that's going to happen. I don't think that in the next couple of years. I think we'll find out in a few years. I don't think they'll instantly jump ship when they announce it. I think it'll be a situation where it's a transition phase, but I think it's coming. But thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're looking at making more content, even beyond football. But been a really busy week, I think, for everybody. So please bear with us. It's hard to put these out week after week, especially when your week starts getting loaded up with stuff. So thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with us. And catch you later.